shut that down for you guys. We have a few things to go over today.
Stu,
Yeah, you see Stu here. She was up here
just
dancing
do
with
it.
me.
Was she dancing?
She was dancing with me.
Stu.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, you guys, welcome this evening. We missed 2 weeks. There was a lot going on. 2 weeks. I apologize for the late delivery of this one's presentation, but I try to stay up all night and do videos. My baby, like, look here, we have to have a structure.
Not me.
He's like, structure, right? But we got it done. I did see on the Facebook group that a couple of you guys did not receive the email with his presentation. If you are not enrolled in any of the courses, you didn't get the presentation. That presentation, there's a lot of things that I send and I share only for the students that are in the courses. All right. So talking about the courses, I want to jump in on that first. All right. So we're going to talk about the courses right now and a few changes that we're going to be making with the course. We're going to be talking about the presentation. Of course, that's why we have Raheem here. I'm glad he was able to join us real quick. He's literally just running in. And then we're going to talk about leads, a little bit about the leads and being ready, able, and willing, and what that means. And that little bit is going to be coming out of that book, Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. We did talk about that in the last video. So we're going to touch on that just a little bit on today. As you guys know, a lot of the students reach out to me and we have conversations throughout. Those, of course, are the ones that are members of the 0 to 6 figures. And so they have that option to be able to have consultations. And throughout those consultations, it helps me to create the different videos for training for you guys. All right. So don't be afraid to reach out. Email is wonderful. I'm able to read those things and respond accordingly. But yeah, so without further ado, we're going to jump in. We're not going to be on here all night. That is going to be one of the changes that we are making.
How long is this going to be?
Well, this one's going to be an hour.
Oh, okay.
But moving forward, we're going to be making some changes.
Okay. Everybody always says it's going to be real quick. Do you guys notice that? Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it's going to be real quick. I said we're going to be making some changes. All right. So, starting out with the courses. This video is live on YouTube for everyone to be able to view this, because I have had several individuals within the last week reach out to me about joining the 0 to 6 figure course. That course is closed. I closed it last week. I sent out an email to several individuals who had not yet taken advantage of that program. So I apologize if you were somebody who did not jump on the email list, right? But that was closed last week. Reason being is I only wanted to have a set amount of students within that course at a certain particular time so that it doesn't become overwhelming for myself, because I'm very active in the group. All right. And so that's why we're having some changes. Listening to one of my mentors in regards to the online courses, they had told me that most online courses run between 6 to 8 sessions, and the 0 to 6 figures has 92. And it's because it's taking you from 0 to 6 figures. And if you really, it's a lot of material. And if you really are going through it step by step, printing out the worksheets, really putting your heart into it, you will make the necessary changes within yourself in order for your income to start to grow. If you quit in the middle, it's obviously not going to help you. That ready, able, and willing, right? Everybody says that they're ready. Everybody's able, but the willing part, that's where the metal meets the road.
Everybody
right?
wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die.
Yeah. And so, it's a lot of work. Changing who you are, changing your financial situation takes work, because you have to change this. And we've been dealing with this for so long. It's hard to constantly think about what we're thinking about and then make those adjustments. And that is what we go through within that course. However, so yes, that course is closed. Nobody else is able to pay full price. They cannot get in the monthly enrollment. It is closed. I'm not sure how long it's going to be closed, but right now that baby is closed. All right. However, you will be able to participate with the membership portion of that course, as well as paying for certain parts of that course a la carte. All right. So you're going to be able to buy, if you just need the presentation section, presentation. It's the 10 steps to success in a presentation. This is going to make it very easy for the students because you can download the Teachable app on your phone. And from that Teachable app, literally, you don't have to worry about logging in online every time that you go to log
On a
into your
computer.
course on your computer or iPad. You can do it right from your phone. And the videos will be available right on the phone, as well as the PDF, so you can read it. It's very simple. And it's easier to do the courses through the Teachable app when they are 6 to 8 lessons long. Whenever you get to the mass amount of information that I provide, that is more a course. It is more for your laptop and your iPad. All right. So tomorrow, I'll say, what is tomorrow? Friday.
Friday.
I'll say,
Yeah.
I'm going to say by Sunday, because some things have come up. So we have some other things we need to do that I was not thinking about. But I'm going to say by Sunday, you guys, everybody that is on my email list. If you're not on my email list, you can go over to ChristineAustinIll.com, scroll through. The website is under construction, but if you scroll through, a box is going to pop up for you to enter your email address. You can enter that email address and you will be added into my my contact list. I do not spam anyone. The only emails that go out to you guys are going to be updates within the course and any changes. All right. And that's it. Some people wish I would email more, but I am in the field as well and working and have a family. I just want to make this simple for you guys. So, did I miss anything? I don't think
No.
so. So, yeah. So, on Sunday, a la carte, you guys will get an email where you will be able to log into the Life Now University, because that is my course name. That's the school. And within that, there are going to be several different courses that are added to the school, to the university. Okay. So, done with that. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions with that? I think that's pretty simple. What Stu said, 7 to 12 minutes, right? What's she talking about?
Yeah, when you said it, this will be real quick.
Oh, yeah, no.
Ashley, and is that LaKersha?
Yep, LaKersha King.
Miss King, good evening.
Yes, and Ashley's on here. Oh, you guys, and Sharon, I was going to say good morning. Good evening, good evening. And then over here, we can't see who those people are over there. So
Okay.
unless they post, and that's fine. So that's it with the course. All right. On the email that was sent out to you guys, letting you know to jump on and the topic. So this week I did not post. Are you good?
I'm fine.
I did not post a normal itinerary as far as the different things that we are going to be talking about. And the reason I didn't is because I kind of wasn't sure if Raheem was going to jump on with me this evening. And I wanted to go into the don't quit, right? I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And that's so broad. Quitting, we, all of us, I think in this generation, in this world right now with technology and everything being so right now, everything is right now. As I was just driving, I'm always driving, right? But this week I went on the road with Raheem for 2 days. Well, not really with you, but we were in the same county working, and it gives me a lot of road time. It gives me a lot of,
Time.
I could think about a lot of things, and I was just thinking about how many things that was running through my mind while I'm driving 3 hours away. And it's everything. It's the family, it's the kids, it's the house, it's the needing a plumber, it's the bank accounts, it's the goals, it's the dreams, it's my team members, it's my students,
Vacation.
it's vacation, it's everything is going on all at the same time. Right? And it was no order, just no order. And of course, Raheem, he gets mad at me all the time or irritated because, yes, he does, because he says that I'm not tuned in. And I'm like, I am tuned in, but I'm tuned into everything, right? And with technology, it's hard. If I'm in the middle of working, and he knows this by now, but when I am in the middle of working on something, I don't want to talk about anything else. I want to just get this part done. And when he's saying things to me, I hear him, but I'm not hearing him. And I'm sure you guys can understand exactly what I'm talking about, because I've talked to several people that are like, you know what? I know I'm supposed to do something. I know my husband told me that he needed something done, or my wife, and I just can't remember what it is. Right? I started getting sticky notes all over my truck, so I could write it down, because I would know that, you know what, that's important, and I'm not going to remember because I have all these other things in my mind. I'm focusing on this lead. I need to have 3, sales this day, or with this trip, whatever. So thinking about right now and how the world is, and how we are able to learn anything we want with the touch of a button on our cell phone. Our cell phones are now our computers on demand. We also think that our business and our success is supposed to happen the same way.
Fast.
Like that. You think, oh, well, I've learned the presentation, or I learned the door knock script, or I learned the phone script, and it's not working. And then you quit, right? Instead of understanding that it's not just the script. It's not just memorizing the words that you should say when you're knocking on the door. That's just a part of your steps to success. It's all of these other things that's going on, right? It's your relationship with God. It's your relationship in your household, your family. It's your support system, whether you have one or you don't, and you need one or you don't, right? It's all of these other things as to why in the course there's a lot of mental things going on. There's a lot of worksheets that you have to sit down and think about, right? You have to get back inside of you to understand, what are my gifts? What are the things that I really thrive? Like what makes me thrive? Not even comparing to the next person, but just looking at yourself and how you and your gifts and what you have, how it fits into your business. And only then you're going to be able to find the passion that you need to go through the days and all the no's and all the doors not opening and all the people and the traffic and everything else that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. If you're just getting up and saying a script, you're not going to close a deal. It's going to be very hard for you to get into a home. You have to have a heart for this. And in order to have the heart for it, you need to figure out what part of you that you love, that you know is your gift, that you enjoy, how can that fit into your business? And then move forward that way. And I think that's perfect for us to just move right into the presentation. Now, the presentation, it was a very nice, clean presentation. We have several of them recorded. This one was the one with the $268 lady that you wrote outside.
Her and her husband?
Yes, her and her husband.
She wanted me to forge she wanted to forge her husband's name.
Right. And you were like, oh, we are not doing that. But the blessing is, and I remember you went back later in the evening. He was like, I have to run back out after dinner to go get this signature. And that's what we do, right? And for those, the majority of the individuals have had the opportunity to listen to that recording. I would say I would play it, but I think that one was 25 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a bit long.
I will resend that email out for those. I know that a couple people said they did not get it. However, in that presentation, and I'll just bring it to you now. Do you remember the story with her? That she was the one that you had kept knocking on the door several times. It was an older lead, and you finally got her. She didn't want anybody going into the home. And so you had talked to her right on the porch. You made it very easy. And she had other policies. And so you definitely went into explaining. So where we normally, within the presentation, there's a set way, a set standard of the flow of the conversation. And the reason why we teach and train agents this presentation, and sometimes we have 2 or 3 different variations, and you want to pick what's more of your style. They all work, but it's so that you have a foundation. Not so that you're using that as I need to hit this, and then I have to answer that, and then I have, because now you're like robotic. And so your presentation, you started kind of with the term whole life.
Mhm.
So if you can just talk a little bit about how you just, like, first of all, what do you think about the leads? Let's start with that. Let's start with that question. What is your thought process about the leads?
Um, First of all I do is leads. I do not cold call. I believe in cold calling. I cold called and other. I don't. One of the worst jobs I ever had was cold calling. It was a lunch break, and the supervisor, she seen me on my lunch break as I was leaving. She said, "You're not coming back, are you?" And I said, "Hell, no, I'm not coming back." So, as much as I know cold calling works, it's just not something that I'm comfortable with doing. So I don't do it. And we have leads, so we don't have to. Um, Setting appointments works. It works really well. Me personally, I just don't want to come. I don't want to work the field all day and come home at the end of my day or set a day aside to make phone calls. That's just me. Something that you had said a minute ago is that you have to know your lane. You have to know your lane. And if you don't, if you're new or struggling, maybe haven't found your lane yet, try everything. Try everything. And the bottom line is all of it works. But whatever you do, you have to do it consistently.
Mhm.
And you have to hit it aggressively for it to work. It is a numbers game. So if the national average is 1 out of 5, um, I need to try to condense how when I see 5 people, I could make that 5 people in a week, or I could make that 5 people in a day.
Mhm.
And when I'm doing, hey, I see all those hearts. They like me.
They like
That's not for
you.
you.
They
Are
like
those hearts for
you.
me? I'll be on here every week. What day we gonna do this again?
It's every third. Well, we're going to. It
It's,
has been every Thursday.
she don't be telling me. She don't want me on here.
Y'all know we in the same house.
No, you just have to know your lane, and for me, I found leads to be a cheat. I really have. That's how I look at leads. I look at them as, come on, you have the option of knocking on a random person's door, and there's sales on every single street. There's sales on every street. You just got to find them. If that's what you're doing, there's a sale on every single street. But when you're talking about a lead, this is a person who is called in, logged in on their computer. They're trying to get quotes. They called in from the television commercial. There's a big advantage.
Mhm.
So that's how I look at these leads. That's the complete answer. And I work my leads. The company says, or the organization that we're with says, that you should order somewhere between 15, 20 leads per week. I order leads almost every day. I won't say that I order 20 a week, but I want to say maybe I'll average 10. I mean, I've ordered 50 at one time. I've ordered
Mhm.
60 at one time. And I just hammer them, so because I feel that strongly, my success rate is very high. Every now and then I dabble with sending a letter, letting them know with my picture, with a copy of their lead stapled to it. And the success that I have with that is so good that I'm like, why don't I do this all the time?
Mhm.
I just had a lead, and over the weekend, she said we were out for 2 days. And as soon as she opened the door and she seen me, she was like, "Oh, come on in." That's so cool.
Yes.
Versus the randomness that we could have. But I'm a firm believer the leads do work. People say, "Oh, I got a bad batch of leads." How was your attitude that day?
Say it.
How were you dressed that day?
Mhm.
I have a business partner, actually my upline, who we were in a previous business together, and there was door knocking involved, and he felt as if though he could not get in. He couldn't because of that thought.
Mhm.
I was saying the same.
His belief
His
system.
belief system was messed up. We had the same script. It's like the high school, your local high school has the Lion King, a play that they might put on evening for everybody to come see. So your kids in it, and you go see all the other kids in this play. Well, they also have Lion King on Broadway. It's the same exact script. It's the same exact story. We all know that the Broadway, they're bringing it. You know, it's a completely different presentation of the same info. How are you at that door? Or are we Broadway, or are we the high school? You know, and I find when I'm feeling Broadway, when I'm looking Broadway, when I carry that Broadway mindset to the door, they do not stand a chance. And he and I in this other business, that was the difference between him and myself. I'm kicking the door down. I go to the field with the mindset that I'm not out here to just drive my car. I'm not just out here to tell my upline or my boss, I did it today. I went out there, nothing happened. I'm out to help people. I'm out to make money. I'm out to impact people's lives in a positive way with whatever I'm bringing to the table. And I have to go with that type of Broadway mindset. He wasn't doing that, and he was having a hard time. After a while, he started noticing that's you don't even say anything different. You say. He started to steal a little bit of that energy, and his success became inevitable. But it all starts with, like, that's a good question. How do you look at leads? Anybody have? So Diane, we got a couple questions.
We have a couple questions on here, but the one thing I wanted you to, before I get to these questions, is the cost of leads. Do you even think about the price of the leads?
Listen, I don't know what the cost of leads are. Let that on everything that I love. I can tell you a roundabout. I know they're between 27 and $40 on everything I love. I don't know what the exact cost is for leads. I know there's somewhere
I had to look them up for an agent.
Between 20 something and $42 or something like that. I don't care if they were double the cost. If we were business owners in any other enterprise, let's say a car wash, that's a business that does well certain times of the year, or maybe all year round, depending on where we get the car wash, right? What do we have? We have to build a building. We have to get a loan. We have to lease a building where we pay monthly. I would say over $1,000 a month just for that lease, or just for that mortgage on the business, the insurance that we would have to have, the employees that we would have to hire and pay them, pay their taxes, pay their disability, their insurance, the solutions that we would need, the advertisement budget. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. If we were McDonald's, we got to buy the fries, we got to buy the hamburgers, we got to buy the special sauce, the lettuce, the cheese, and all of this stuff, right? Well,
before you even open a door,
before you make a dime, to make a dime, you have to get rid of so much inventory. We would have to wash so many cars. The leads is really our only expense other than gas.
Right.
Other than gas and our shirts that we wear, or whatever, we put on to look professional. So when you look at it that way, the only cost I have to run our business is leads. And guess what the best part is?
What's the best part?
We don't have to pay out of pocket.
Well, so some agencies do.
So if you're in an agency that does, I think we should pay. I think agents should pay. Don't let
to be more serious about their leads.
This in my upline hear me say that, because I like it the way that we have it. And I take my leads seriously.
Right.
But I think if more people had to pay for their leads up front, I would hope that they would be more efficient with them and carry that Broadway mindset to the door.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Did I answer that question?
You did. You did. And so we're going to jump on here, and I have Nick that is on the line, and Nick is asking, what exactly are you doing to set up appointments to make a sale potentially on every lead? And what do you do to get the best results? And so he does not set up appointments. He does not make the phone calls at all. He does not call and set appointments. So you can go from there. As far as and I can help you with this one. Let's talk about how you are coming to that door. So I've talked to several people of how I will be on the earpiece with my own husband, and he'll get out the car and be somebody completely different. And I'm thinking, who in the world? Real upbeat, light, just
I'm
fun.
always upbeat, light, and fun. Just yeah. I'm always like upbeat. You all know me, and you don't know me
No, they don't
another
know
way.
you. No, they don't know
They're
you.
not. They don't drive me crazy like you. do.
Hey, leads drive you crazy. But this is the point. This is the point.
What?
And
What?
so
That? Look at them. Look at them. Y'all know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. So,
no,
so that's a good question.
right.
So,
And so it's the question is how do you, even after like this past 2 days, you got no sales.
I
No
did.
sales.
I got one.
Okay.
I got my behind kicked,
Right.
y'all.
Okay. So
And I
one
normally
sale
in a
out of
county
like,
that I normally kill it.
yeah, like out of 40 leads or whatever, right? But every door, because we were checking in and I don't know why I was in an area with a lot of non-signals, but you were pretty good. But when we connected, I would be on his earpiece and we don't stop working when we're connected. We're in an earpiece and literally still knocking on the door. And I'm like, I'm gonna just hit mute because I still like to hear. And it blows my mind every time. And it's like, okay, I'll hear him on the phone, like, oh man, I'm on my, an 18th door because when you order a whole lot of leads, when you're able to do that, it makes it nice because you'll have more leads in a particular area. So you can then like go back and forth and hit them 2 or 3 times, which is wonderful. So that's what was going on. And he's like, man, like he said, I'm getting my behind kicked. He's at the door. Oh, he was like, oh, you know what? This door's open. I think somebody's here. I'm like, keep me on. But your energy, it's like,
That's Broadway.
it doesn't matter what happened
That's
the last
Broadway.
20 doors. Exactly.
That's Broadway. Somebody
But
said,
how do you do that? Is the
Some-
question. Like, how do you make sure?
you gonna let me talk to these people? See, this is what. Anyway, this one. So no. So that's a great question.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I was saying. It's Broadway. It's Broadway. Somebody said to me one time in that other business that I was talking about that he said you have to wear your problems, your drama, that last argument, any unpaid bills you have, the fact that you only got a little bit of all that stuff. First of all, is temporary as long as we don't do what got us there for a long time. Because if we're in a really good space financially and emotionally, relationally, and all these other things, we're doing the right things in those areas. If an area gets suspect, we drop the ball a little bit. We stop rubbing them feet.
You better
We
not stop
we
rubbing
stop
those
buying the
feet.
roses. She got roses today. We forget these. We stop ordering our leads. We stop working until it gets dark, and we take detours on something. We're cutting a corner. So we usually, when we cut corners, we find ourselves in a crazy space. And when we're in that space, the way to get out of it is massively attack, get them roses, go on a date, or get back to ordering leads, get back to making your calls if that's what you were doing, and do it consistently. And so back to what I was saying, my ex mentor told me that you have to wear your problems, your stressors, that last victory, that last sale. It's great to get a sale and ride that high, but so what? You sold 5 today. You have to have that mindset even there to say, so what? That's part of the business. That's what's supposed to happen. And on the flip side of that, you could have a day like I had 2 back to back where I went 20 plus doors each day and I only got 1.
Mhm.
So what? That's part of the business. It's supposed to happen. And I can't get up here when I'm doing that great. I can't go down here when I have a couple of days. Like today, if I would have let it affect me my previous 2 days,
Mhm.
there's a laydown that I would have missed. And let me tell you guys about this laydown real quick. So I had a lead that I went, what did I tell you, June?
I don't remember.
It was in June or something that I had an appointment with this lady. It was written on a lead. It was a Friday, and she called me to cancel the appointment. And she said, "Well, I'll get it when my boyfriend wants to get it." And her, and I don't want to make a long story short. She told me at that phone call back in June or July, "Don't call me, I'll call you," type thing. And she was adamant, like, "I'm not going to do this now. Just, you know what? Just throw my name, take me off of your list." I set her to the side and I went to her today. And when I say lay down, I mean lay down. And I'll be back on Tuesday to write up her husband. By staying in the right frame of mind. And so what he told me is you wear your problems, your stressors like a jacket. And when it's time to go to work, when it's time to go up to that next door, when it's time to make those phone calls, you take it off. Trust and believe it'll be waiting on you whenever you get done with those doors. But guess what? By taking it off and going to that next door, like this guy didn't cuss you out, like your wife isn't driving you crazy, like your husband didn't tick you off last night. When you take it off, they don't feel that, they don't sense that. You could be talking to somebody that's like, "Dad, what just happened?" You know, my energy changed because I know it's showtime. And by me thinking that way, they get a completely different me. They get the me that they're supposed to. They get the me that will be able to help them. They get the me that they would be able to listen to and say, "This guy really is tuned into what I'm saying. He's listening to me. He hears me. He's focused." And all of that stuff should be communicated without you saying anything, just by how you're coming across to them. And success happens, right? You find yourself, you're like, okay, so you want to get one for your daughter too? You want to get one for your husband? Okay, sign right here. Let me go out and get some more paperwork. Let me enter this in also. And guess now what? Those problems that you took off, a couple of them, when you put that jacket back on, ain't even on there no more because you've made the money. There's been so many times where I've gone in, maybe I was mentally stressed, but I took it off and I went in and I either got with a customer who told me about how bad of a situation that they were in, and I'm like, holy, I'm tripping over
nothing compared to that.
Nothing in comparison. So it helps me with my perspective even on stuff like that because I'm in the right mindset and I'm able to say to her, "Hey, you know what? It's going to be okay. I prayed with people,
several clients.
You know, all kinds of things, just because that jacket with all that junk is in my car. You know, I'm not taking it into these people's houses. That jacket gets lighter and then lighter and lighter and lighter, and I love it." Yeah, good question.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And your approach to the door, because on the recording it did not have your door knock. Several of my recordings, I record as soon as I'm getting out the vehicle, so they hear me even talking to myself walking up to the door. Door knock me.
Okay, use your head for
right there. Come on.
You're a lead.
I'm a lead. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to back up real quick because he did mention this in the recording, and I know that somebody's going to ask me when they listen to the replay. When he said he sends out his door cracker letters with a copy of the lead attached to it. We have our picture on our door cracker letters, and that way we mail these out whenever you are ordering your leads and you know where you're at, right? You can order the leads ahead of time before you go into an area. And that way you can go ahead and mail these out, and they should receive it within a day or two before you arrive. And in here, it does say that I am the field underwriter and I will be in your area in the next couple of days. If you would prefer a specific time, feel free to call and they can call you. We do not answer our phones. We let them leave a voicemail. The message does say that if you are calling in regards to a delivery notice or a letter, please leave the best time for hand delivery. So that way they can listen. Our voicemail is very short and sweet and simple. Leave a voicemail with the best time for hand delivery. That way we can listen to those voicemails. We can write on the lead the best time to go and see those individuals. If they say, I do not want anybody coming to my house, I am no longer interested, we act like we don't hear that voicemail and we knock anyway.
Every time.
every single time.
Every
All
time.
right. And we do not write that on the lead because we don't want to have that mental block. When we get to the lead saying, oh, yeah, they said not to come. Don't do that. All right. So now we'll get into him door knocking me.
Okay. So you're a lead. A couple things real quick. Back to just thinking about what you think about when you're running leads. When I used to get a lead that says, just give me some thumbs up if you have received a lead that was incomplete. Give me a thumbs up if that was a negative for you. Let me see.
So if you didn't see no age, no phone number, how you made you feel some kind of way, give a thumbs up.
I used to.
Give a heart,
It used
give
to
something.
be, oh man, because if I had the phone number, I could at least show that handwriting and they would catch their, oh yeah, I remember that. Thank you. I know it wasn't just me. Somebody made the mad face. I used to get mad. I used to, oh man, what am I going to,
like this is a dummy lead. This isn't even real.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
would walk
used to
up to
think.
the door like, ma'am, my whole everything was off again, back to that Broadway. My whole everything was off because of that. And I had to start turning some screws in here and flip it. And I started using that to my advantage. So now, whenever I get a lead that doesn't have a phone number, guess what? It explains why I had to show up at the door.
Right. Perspective.
Now, if somebody, think about it. If somebody has their phone number, why didn't you just call me? On top of, I just wanted something in the mail, right? So now I flip it. And so if they don't have, this one doesn't have a phone number on it. So we'll role play. All right. Now, for anybody, I'm sure y'all heard that. So for anybody that's not in our organization, those that are in our organization know that knock and what's behind it. You don't want to bang on the door like the police. I don't do doorbells. I want to knock on the door. I want to know that sometimes you ring a person's doorbell and it doesn't even work. And we're sitting there. We've been in the house 5 or 6 times ringing the doorbell, thinking that they're not home, and they might have been home every time. So I knock on the door, and I do the friendly dun 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 dun, and that would make me like, who is that at my door knocking like
fun.
that? And it would make me want to go see who was at the door. So that's how I knock, and now my lead comes to the door.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? That's how I went. I was thinking, all right, I'm sorry.
He does that for real.
That's how I would come to the door.
He really does.
That's how. So
yeah,
scoot back a little bit. Oh, you can't. I want to just get in the picture. All right. So
where are you?
I want to be.
Come in here.
I want to be very light with my person at the door. I'm joking.
And he does for real.
Something along those lines. And I'm like, are you Charlene?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God. Do you know how hard it is to get a hold of you?
No, how hard is it?
Don't worry, you're not in trouble this time. My name is Raheem, Charlene. I'm with the Funeral Advantage program. They sent me to go over the information with you that you requested. You put your age on there. You didn't put a number there, so there was no way to contact you.
I could have sworn I had my number on here.
People do it all the time. So first of all, thank you for getting me out the office. I appreciate that. You get a high five.
Okay.
I really do appreciate that. I'm only going to be about 5 minutes with you. Do you have a lot of questions?
Yeah. How come they didn't just send me something in the mail?
They sent you a letter in the mail after this. Sometimes I could have beat the letter. So if you do get one in a couple of days, you'll see it's postmarked before today. And it's not coming from us. It's coming from our home office, which is in Phoenix. Sometimes people miss that for junk mail because they don't recognize the name of the company. But I'll only be about 5 minutes. Do you have a lot of questions?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Can we sit here? Do you want to? Can we step inside, or do you want to sit out here?
All right, you can come on in.
Okay, I appreciate
that.
Just
5 minutes, though.
No, unless you got a whole bunch of questions, or unless what's that smell? You gonna feed me?
No.
All right, so I'll be 5 minutes. I'll be real quick.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Okay, so there's a few things that I want to point out. I want to point out of what he did, and it's very important to pay attention to our body language. You need to pay attention to the person at the door, but looking at him, what he did was he put his hand on his chest. he's like, and even though we're sitting down, if we could just rewind it, you would be able to see, and you can rewind it whenever we're done. But he leaned in to me. He put his hand on his chest. He handed me the lead so that it was in my hand. This is me getting ownership now. I have it in my hand, right? And I'm looking at it. So now I'm not staring him down. I'm looking at this sheet and I am remembering. Is that right? Yeah. I'm remembering this form because I see it.
And also body language.
Yes.
I was trying to get some space to show what it would really be like at a door. I would never be this close. As soon as I knock on the door, I step back. These are things that we don't talk about enough.
Right.
And they're not little things at all. You knock on somebody's door and they open it and we're just like right there. That's already an immediate negative in my mind if I'm the person that's behind the door. And these are little things that I think we assume everybody just knows, and they're not something that we should assume. So I step back. Every now and then, like I might, if I see that they're open and they're getting a little bit warm, I might just touch them a little bit on their shoulder. They gotta like you. They gotta like you. Again, Broadway, high school. The high school, it's the Girl Scout pitch. Hi, my name is Susie. I'm selling Girl Scout cookies. And this is we can't be at the door that way.
No,
so
because everybody loves those cookies. They don't love us yet.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So that's my pitch. Anything. That's my pitch is very basic.
Very.
But my thing is I want to make them feel comfortable with me, this Black guy who they may see as a big Black guy. I don't know. They may see me as a little Black guy, but whatever the case is, that is a hurdle. You may be a woman at the door, or there's all these different things. So we just have to make them feel comfortable with who's on the other side of the door, being us. And eye contact. If they reach for my hand, I'm gonna make sure. There we go. I'm gonna make sure that they get a firm handshake, eye to eye. And every now and then, I'll take steps back deliberately so that they don't feel threatened. These things are huge.
They're huge. They're huge. And I get this question all the time with the guys, and they say, well, I'm sure it's easy for you to get in because you're a female and you're beautiful. It really doesn't matter what you look like per se. Sure, the men might come to the door and they may, smile like, oh, they know who to send to the house, but that's not getting me in the door. That's not getting me a check, right? It's these other things, being confident and knowing your product, right? I look at my lead as a family member, and I had said it on videos before. I look at it as really like this could be my mother, my father, my aunt, my uncle, one of my loved ones. And so that is why I'll say the name of the lead several times before I get to that front door. So when I get to the door, I don't have to stop and look at the lead. I know the name because I've been saying it the last 5 or 10 minutes. Like, oh, Charlene, oh, she's going to be so nice. She's going to be so happy to see me. I create this whole story of what it's going to be like before I get to the door. Does it always work? No, but it makes me feel better. And if my energy is right, I can more than likely get them on my side than me turn to the negative, which a lot of times they come to the door, right? So that was awesome. The other day you said it to a guy that answered the door. You were like,
you ordered to get a hold of her.
No. You said, oh man, I'm so glad you were here. Man, you must be special. You took me all the way from Export, Pennsylvania to come and see you. Yeah. And the guy, you can hear the guy when he said, oh, for real? Like I could hear on the phone, the guy smile, right? Because he was like, man, you must be special. And you say that a lot. And of course you change it up, and you're going to change up how you are approaching that door based on what that person looks like. So we cannot be robotic.
Definitely can't be robotic. People live mundane, day-to-day, same thing lives, right? We wake up, we get the kids together, we kick them out, we go to work, we come home. We repeat it the next day. We go out on the weekends, we repeat it on Monday. We do it all throughout the week. Somewhere in between, there cannot be that Mr. and Mrs. boring agent that comes to the door. It can't be that Mr. and Mrs. boring agent when you come up to the door. And I'm not saying go to the door, do cartwheels and backflips, but you got to come to that Broadway level. Or I should say, when you do, getting in becomes much more easy to do. It becomes fun. You know, I say things to people like, Christine, you're Christine. I need you to step outside. We have a warrant for your arrest.
He does.
And I've had husbands like, take her ass down. They're cussing, and it gets fun. And if we're not having fun out there, man, that's definitely something that I would highly recommend you change immediately, because it should be a lot of fun out there in the field. I have a good time when I'm out there.
Yeah. Yeah. We have another question that was a little further up. And it was Diane, and she asked, she said, Diane Heights, she said, I'm struggling with persistency. How do you keep the leads on the books? And so I asked a follow-up question. Are you writing larger policies? I'll start, and you can end with this one.
Good.
Like,
Give me
quick.
a sec. I'll come right back, guys.
Okay.
Let me grab something.
All right. So persistency is huge, especially if you are with Lincoln Heritage. We are big on persistency. If that persistency goes too low, you will lose your opportunity. You can be terminated from Lincoln Heritage, and your upline and your manager cannot do anything to save your job, right? So that is a very good question, Diane. I'm glad you did ask that. And there are several things that I know I do to help keep persistency up. The question I asked you was, are you writing large policies, right? Are you selling? Are you doing more selling in the home than finding the need and filling the need, right? And I'm not saying to lowball your clients. I have my little client tracking list right here. I keep track of all my clients. I have a binder from all the years. And my average app is going to be between $70 to $80. I do write 55. I write 36 on here. I have 52, 160, 89, 79, 58. So they're going to vary, but I do not sell in a home. I am watching every movement from that person when they tell me, oh, you know what? I want this one that's $160. I lean and I say, okay, 160. Are you sure that you can handle the $160 around Christmas time, when it's time to buy all these grandbabies something for Christmas? Because you cannot skip a month. I ask those questions, and I tell them, listen, it is good to have some cash, is better than none at all. I don't want you biting off more than you can chew. Do not try to take this policy because you can pay for it today. Can you pay for it tomorrow? And the next month, and the next month, because this is the last gift you are going to leave your family, and you need to make sure it's affordable, right? So I'm making sure that they can afford it. I'm not just, oh, wow, okay, this is $160. I'm going to max out. I made, X amount of dollars and I'm good. No, I need to make sure that they're good. So you want to make sure that the amounts that the clients are picking, they can afford, and you're not getting them so excited about the product, because our benefit is amazing. It really is. But I don't want to sell you. I want to make sure that this is what you're going to use, and this is the amount that you can afford. And we can revisit if we want to increase later. I have 2 apps in my folder to go back to, because my clients have said that they wanted to start at one level. And after I asked them, well, are you sure that this is going to be okay? I said, you know what, is it okay if I start a little low and then increase it in December? Mm-hmm. And so I have the note in my folder for December that I will call them back. Hey, it's December. You ready to increase to X amount? Because I have everything written down. So again, you do not want to sell. Even though some of us think about the commission, this is not about you. If you are thinking about your lead, which is your people, they are going to, is that for me?
No.
Okay. Yeah, please. They are going to stay on the books.
I know, yeah.
All right. And obviously the clients that pay, right? The ones that stay are the ones that's going to pay. So, and we need that. Another thing that we do is the sendoutcards.com. I will post the I'll send out an email with the link on there for the send out cards. If you have a code, you can get in there. I think it's like a discounted rate. You could pay a monthly fee, but we have a code. So I'll send you that code via the email. Hopefully you all are on my email list, right? If you're not on my email list, post your emails. Go ahead and post your email and I will make sure to copy it down and I will send you that link. I'll add you to my list. However, sendoutcards.com is very nice because you can create your own templates. It's very user friendly. You do not have to be super techie at all. Once you set up your campaigns, they're in there. And then you add your contacts. You can add your contacts via an Excel spreadsheet. And they have little videos to walk you every step of the way. So it's very nice. But like Raheem, when he comes home, he's better with doing it right as he does a sale than I am. I like to do a list of them. I like to do the spreadsheet, upload the spreadsheet and then send them all out at one time. He will do it right after he wrote a policy. Either way is fine. My persistency is in the 90s. Yours is
somewhere between
89s and 9. Yeah, so they're good persistencies. He writes high policies, high premium policies. You want to make sure that you are staying in front of these clients. And when you start to talk, I'll pull up one of my campaigns and just show it. But these are things to stay in front of them. I like to send out a postcard to my clients every quarter, right? I use technology. I am a techie. I use this app that's called Dial My Calls. There is a monthly fee. You could do a monthly fee for that one as well, or you can just pay as you send a text message. And I always ask my clients when I write their policy, do you receive text messages? And if they say yes, I write it on the lead and they get added to my Dial My Calls, because it's easy for me to just say, hey, I just was thinking about you. This is your life insurance agent. I hope you're having a blessed day. Click. Everybody gets the text message at the same time. And I'll get messages back. They're like, oh my God, that was so sweet. What does it hurt? It's like 5 cents. It's worth it to keep your clients on the books.
I bought a car from a dealership in Pittsburgh, and Robert Manning, if you can somehow ever see this, I'm talking about you. But the guy's name was Robert Manning. He was, I think I bought 3 cars off of him. In the car industry, if you sell 15, 20 cars a month, you're everything, all that in a bag of chips, as they used to say. And this guy was selling like 30 something cars, and he did no cold calls. All of his business. Thank you so much, baby. Yeah. And I'm sorry, guys, I had to get some tea. Look,
Hi.
Chrissy Jr. She just got to be in the spotlight. Thank you, baby. All this guy's business was repeat customers. You know, that says a whole lot. I would get a birthday card, and from that dealership, how it came, you knew that it was something that was just like computer generated. But the fact that he put that information in, somewhere along the line, he said, you know, staying in contact with my customers is going to be important. And repeat customer, repeat business after repeat business, and all because of that. So like she said, she's pulling it up now. As soon as I get what she meant by campaigns, just in case you were curious or didn't know,
I'm gonna pull it up so they can see it.
Campaign is something where you could have, like in mine, for example, I have thank you.
Go ahead, you can talk.
I was just trying to see. I'm all trying to see with them. So I have thank you men, and there's a card that I created that if it's a man that I wrote, a card for them. I have one for women, and that one has flowers on the cover. It's a little bit more feminine. And I have one. So, and so you create the what you want it to say. So it'll say, hey, Diane, or it just says, hey, thank you, with a space, and it automatically puts your client's name in there. Once you put that information once you put their information in, you just tell it which campaign you want it to go to. It puts their address on the card. It puts their name on the card. Spouses, if it was for a couple, and it's a beautiful.
Oh my God, it's super
card.
Thick.
It's a beautiful card.
It is better than the cards you buy at the store.
It's better than a Hallmark
as far
card.
as the quality of the cards. And so I'm just showing you guys on here just a couple of the campaigns that I have that are templates in here. I have one card that is for new clients, and it says life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. And on the inside, it just says, thank you. It's their first name. And I have it with the handwritten. And it says, thank you for allowing us to take care of your final expense insurance needs with the #1 final expense company in the nation, capital letters. Please call me anytime if you have any questions. And then my name and phone number. And of course, my picture. And I have several different ones. So I have it for the new client. I have it for the holidays. I have one for my NTOs for the redate. And that one's nice because it's red and it says, now this is something you can get excited about. And then in there, it lets them know that I can redate them for the same price with just one payment. So that's nice. And then I even have one to rewrite.
That one.
Yeah, to rewrite, rewrite a canceled client. And that one, the front of it says, let us relish life as we live it, find joy in the journey, and share our love with friends and family. One day, each of us will run out of tomorrows. And then it has the journey. And it's not like a, like a sad card. It's a nice one, but it's kind of letting you know one day your journey is over, right? And then in there again, it has my information on there and a little small note for them to contact me that we would be able to get their coverage started back up. So these are the different things that you can do to keep you in front of your clients and also for them to love on you. I've run into, I've run into clients that, other people have run into my clients and they called me when those agents were in their home. I have my clients, I take a picture with almost every single one of my clients, and I have my picture in their phone because I put it in there and I put Insurance Chris because I don't expect them to remember my name, but I do know that they're going to remember insurance. So I'm Insurance Chris with my picture. So when I call our picture, so I take the pictures with us together, they pop up. Unless they're like really nasty, then I don't take those pictures. But for the most part, I'm in the picture. And vice versa. So whenever they call me, their face pops up. And I am very visual. So whenever I see them, I remember our stories. Diane, yes, I will send out an email with the code.
It's Paul Chambers' birthday.
It's not his birthday.
Paul Wall, yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul. We were just with you. Oh, I'm going to bring you a cupcake tomorrow.
We're going to bake you a cake, man. She'll bake you a cake.
You don't want me to bake you a cake.
No, you do not want her to bake you a cake.
I'll cook for you, but you don't want me to bake a cake.
Happy birthday, man.
I'd sing, but I've been talking all day. That's awesome. I didn't know it was his birthday. Okay, so that's it with the lead. So that was his door knock approach. All right. And then also whenever, again, you're in the home, we're not going to go through that whole presentation. I will resend that email, but you want to be personable. You want to have confidence. You want to know your product. Don't allow people to punk you. Period. If you are a new agent and you have somebody asking a question that you don't know the answer to, that's why you have your upline, right? If you're in our agencies, a lot of us have portals where there's training. Let them know, you know what? That is a great question. I'm going to write that down. And before the end of this evening, I'm going to make sure that you get that answer, okay? Write it down. Continue on with whatever you're dealing with. But if it's a pressing question, hey, we have our group me's where you can add that question immediately on our group me's, and there's always somebody there willing and ready to answer that question, right? So don't allow them to punk you. Don't start feeling like, because you don't know all the answers all the time at every moment that you're not worthy of helping that family and collecting that check. It's not the case. Stop letting people punk you. Anything else you want to talk about on that without going into the presentation?
No.
All right.
Any other questions?
Any other questions, guys?
As far as that goes. Any other questions? What's next?
We'll give it like a second because there's a lag.
Okay, so how did you do that? Okay.
Yes.
So we're caught up.
We're caught up. Hey, Eric, what's going on? You done slid up in there.
Took the words out my mouth. Hey! Eric, what's up, bro? I miss you. I miss you. Long time no see. No hear from.
I know. I said he got
Glad
it.
to see you on here,
He
man.
was in there going in on his boxing fight. He won, and his boxing match. So you don't have to be the smartest person to make it in this business.
Stop it. Stop it.
Anyway, okay. So jumping into, we talked about don't quit. Ready, able, and willing. So as you guys know, the last session that we did, we were in the book, Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. It is the kick butt approach to success. It's from Larry Winget, and it is Winget. All right. So ready, willing, and able.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very short read, but I want to read it. And then Raheem, you could more than happy talk about how it makes you feel.
Sure.
Remember the old saying, ready, willing, and able. We have heard that most of our lives. It is one of the most recognizable cliches. Ready? Here's how I look at that statement. Everyone is ready, or at least they think they are, or they say they are. That is why they yell, "You bet," at the question I ask in my speeches. And I actually think when people say they are ready, they are. I honestly have never met anyone who was not ready for more. Able? Skip to the third item on the list. Able. How many are able? Everyone. Seriously. No matter what you face, whether it is a mental, financial, or physical liability, you are still able to do more, even if it is just a little bit more. The great news is that when you do a little more, your results can increase by a lot more. So if everyone really is ready to do better and to have more, and everyone really is able to do more and become more, then what is the problem? Willing. The answer to that question lies in the second word of the cliche, willing. Is everyone willing to become more or to do more in order to have what they want in life? The answer is a screaming no, and that is the problem. People are not willing to put in the hours and expend the effort to change. What I started this session on. The world really is not made up of the haves and the have-nots. It is made up of the wills and the will-nots. Again, the question is never, can somebody do better? Of course they can. And it is never, are they able to do better? Of course they are able. The question is always, will they do better? Sorry, but most just will not. Not because they are not able, but simply because they are not willing. So how simple is it? You have probably been asking yourself for a good long time why your life is not better. Now you have the answer. The answer is that you are not willing to do what it takes for your life to be better. And I'll say on a consistent basis. Some of us will start and we try, but we don't keep going. We quit.
I think there's a whole lot of ouches going on right now.
That's why I said, shut up, stop whining, and get a life.
We could all say ouch on this. I believe it's some area of our life or another.
Absolutely. And of course it does. It is perfectly fair. Your life is the way it is because you have not been willing to do what it takes to make it different. Period. Case closed. And sadly, it is not that you have not wanted it to be better. Want has little to do with it. You can desperately want success and never achieve it. You can want to be rich and never make any money. You can want to lose weight and only get fatter. Want only matters if you want enough to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve the desired results. Last thing, 3 more reasons people are not successful. They are stupid, they are lazy, and they don't give a darn.
I like how you said darn.
Right, because this is
It don't say darn right there, yeah.
And that's it for that last part. What are your comments on what I just read?
Willing is big. Willing is everything. Willing is a separator. We have a conference call Monday through Wednesday, starts at 7 a.m. On that, in the business that we're in, we have people that do everything from $1,000 or less in production to people that do over 40,000 in production. Mm-hmm. The biggest separator is will. you have the people who don't have the will to get up in the morning to just get on a conference call. They don't have the will to touch bases with their. Oh wow, that's funny. That's fun. Don't have the will to stay in connection with their upline and people that will hold them to a higher standard and help them. And the reason that they don't is because they're not willing to do the things that their mentor or their upline is telling them to do. Right? Will is big. Yes. Will is real big.
It's huge.
You know, every year people start off. It's New Year's. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get this body right. I'm going to be in a 2-piece bikini by spring. And That's January 1st. And come January, February, about the second, third week of February, that parking lot gets real thin.
Real thin.
Will. Mm-hmm. It boils down to will.
Yeah. And we all have it. We all have the ability to change, to do whatever we want. Mm-hmm. I had somebody on here about a month ago. Excuse me, and they said that they couldn't do something. I can't remember exactly what it was, and it doesn't really matter. But they said that they couldn't do something, but they had quit smoking, right? And they had quit gambling. And
so they were successful quitting smoking.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, it is very difficult to stop smoking. It's very difficult to stop gambling, right? These are strong addictions and habits that we form. And even in myself with the drinking, I just decided I was done. That was a will. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm not going to touch it again. It doesn't even matter where I am, who's around me. There's no desire, but it was a will, right? We can do anything we want to do. We got up and started working out.
Wait. That's a good point. Because on that note, you at that time, at that moment, and where you said, okay, I'm not going to drink anymore. I don't know for you, but for most people, they have come, and you may have been at that spot, said that before other times. You had to come to the point where we have people in battered relationships, right? We all got somebody in our family or know somebody that is in that situation or was in that situation. Hopefully they're not anymore, but they've been in it for years, or they were in it for years. Yeah. And, like, oh, you need to leave that girl. You need to leave that guy. And that day finally came around.
Finally comes around.
When they do. Mm-hmm. It's something that they could have did a long time ago, but the will to do it wasn't strong enough.
Right.
How's the saying go? When the why is big enough, the how to becomes easy.
The how to becomes easy. Right.
We have a situation where it's like, okay, order 20 leads a week. The will to do, the ability to do it is there, but it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want for whatever reason, right? Go hit 20 doors. Go make.
We know what the reason is, and it's the same as and I'll use myself as stopping the drinking. In order for that to have happened, it was thinking all of these steps further and even looking at all the things behind. What would change? What would be different if I stopped drinking? What would I really have to deal with? What fears, right, would I now have to face and deal with sober? What would be different, right? And so you have to go through, even in the ordering your leads, knocking on doors, knocking on cold doors. What's been going on right now? And what's going to change if I just submit and do what my upline and my manager has been telling me to do? What's going to change? And understanding that it's only going to be good. It's only going to be better because all this is not working. I'm already stressed out and crazy and broke. But it's not like it's not possible because there's too many agents across the world who are millionaires from a life insurance license. What was the difference? They were willing to go through.
Yeah. I don't want to drive 3 hours away. Okay. I don't want to order 20 leads a week. Okay. And how I tell people, it's like, Paul, you come over to the house, man. We make you a birthday cake, and it's the best cake you've ever had in your life. And you're like, dude, thank you, but you got to tell me how to make that cake. And I'm like, Paul, it's my mother's recipe. She got it from her mother. She got it from her. Dude, I'll have to kill you. And you talk me into telling you the recipe. And I tell you, you need a dozen eggs. You need 2 cups of sugar. You need a cup of flour, whatever. And I give you the whole recipe. And you go home to your wife and you're like, honey, wait till you taste this cake. Raheem made me a cake. He gave me the recipe and I'm going to tear this up. And that's kind of like how we go home as a new agent, and we're excited and we're telling people, I'm in this company and they told me how to do it. Right. And they're all Paul's wife is hearing is, I'm about to have me some good cake, and just like that spouse, all I know, he's excited. He's in this new company, and when he's talking about taking me on a trip to Chile, and they do all this stuff, and it's really the same thing. But now Paul gets in that kitchen, and he's like, I know he told me a dozen eggs, but I don't like eggs all like that.
Or maybe you only have 10 eggs.
I don't want to put 12.
I don't want to go to the store.
I'm gonna put 10 in there. I don't feel like going to the store. It should be all right. And then 6 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts 3 cups in there. And he goes through the whole recipe like that. Let's say he does the rest of the recipe verbatim. That cake is not going to be the cake that he had at my house. He's not going to have the success.
It is not going to rise.
That he saw with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to rise.
It's not going to rise.
It's going to be a wafer. It might be a cracker by the time Paul get done messing with it, because
Mm-hmm.
he's messed up the recipe.
Right.
You have to be willing to do the exact recipe to the T. And when you get to messing with that recipe, you change the results
Mm-hmm.
all day.
All the time.
All day.
And that's what we see. And that's why people quit, right? There's other reasons why some people quit, but it's easy to find an excuse outside of the fact that you just didn't want to put in the work. You were not willing to make the adjustments. Everybody's trying to find a shortcut.
Mm.
There is no shortcut. None. Yeah, like I started the call. We can get on our cell phones and we can learn Spanish. We can learn anything right here without having to go to school. We can just do everything like that almost. Being successful takes time. Period.
Flat out.
You have to change.
Flat out. There's no such thing as an overnight success, man.
Mm-mm.
We like Kevin Hart, he's probably the highest paid comedian ever right now. And some people might say, man, he just came out of nowhere. He did not. There's some video footage you can see of him as like almost a teenager doing some comedy, and some of it's funny and some of it's really not. But he just kept at it. He just kept at it. And you hear his story, and he talks about how, or Steve Harvey even, who was homeless, Tyler Perry living out of his car, and I'm sure there was plenty of days where they didn't feel like it. Again, it all comes back down to, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to push through, fight through, to make that thing happen?
Yeah. So we're going to park it just for a minute, and I'm going to ask, does anybody have any additional questions or comments right now? If not, I have this one last little thing that I'm going to read, and we're going to shut it off with that.
What time is it? How did you do?
I did good. I'm an hour and 5 minutes.
So you went over.
I did go over.
Mm-hmm.
I said about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Any questions?
Any questions? You guys have any questions? Any comments? Anything other than what we talked about? Maybe something else is on your mind. Something else happened to you today, or you would like to hear a different spin on something that you're dealing with right now. Maybe not the leads. Anything. Put it up there. 2. Oh, you don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a curse word.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to close out with this. Hold on to your seat, guys. Hold on. I'm not going to say the curse words, because that's the next thing that I'm going to quit.
You won't stop cussing.
I'm going to stop cursing.
What?
Yeah, I'm cleaning up, guys.
Let me write this down.
I'm cleaning up. All right. Who said something about that? Wait a minute. Okay, Eric said, I know what I need to do. Okay, awesome. The
Let's
two
do
are
it.
very
Let's do it,
appreciative.
E.
Thank you.
We all do, man. We all do. You're not alone.
All right. So this one is one that when I read this book the first time, there's a lot of things that are highlighted in here because I needed my butt kicked a lot. And I'm going back through it again because now that I've grown so much and I've done a lot of changes, I know that now when I'm going through this book again, something else is going to help me to get myself to the next level because I may not have been able to receive it the first time I read it because, I mean, this was really, oh yeah, you talk about a crybaby. This book is serious. I want to end it with this, and I want you guys to really listen and really think about it. And if it really makes you feel uncomfortable, I'm talking to you, he's talking to you. It's okay. He was talking to me too. But it is necessary for us to hear this in order to agitate us to move. All right. So you do not give a darn. And you know, when I say darn, it says,
darn. So why are you going to stop cussing? Why are you going to do a good thing and then try to make me cuss? Do you notice that? It's like, I stopped smoking crack. Here, take my crack pipe. That's what we're doing right now. I'm not going to say it. Come on. I don't give a darn.
I don't give a darn.
Come
Okay.
on. This
is the really ugly reason. This is the one that will paralyze you and keep you broke and unhappy. I will cut you a little slack. If you are truly stupid, at least for a while. You do not get any slack if you are lazy. But if you do not care enough to be more and do better, I will not be able to stand being in your presence. Not giving a darn or not caring is the ultimate insult to yourself and to your family. Isn't that deep? I'm going to say it again. Not giving a darn or not caring is the ultimate insult to yourself and to your family. To know how to be successful and not care enough to do it is truly a pitiful thing.
Rewind that.
Not giving a darn or not caring is the ultimate insult to yourself and to your family. To know how to be successful and not care enough to do it is truly a pitiful thing.
Wow.
How can you look your family in the eye and admit to them you are able to provide a better life for them, but you will not because you do not love them enough to read a book, take a class, get up a little earlier, turn off the TV a little quicker, or work a little harder or longer? It's not fair. Oh, excuse me, not fair, you say. Oh, sure it is. If you are mentally and physically able to be better than you are and to do better than you do, and you do not do it, the only reason I can come up with is that you do not care enough about yourself and your family to do so. Sorry, but that makes me sick. Let us cut to the chase here. Stop right now and admit you can do more than you are doing. And I do not really care how much you are doing. You could do a little more, right? And because you bought this book and you're listening to me still, you have probably decided you are ready to do more. And maybe you just need a guide to show you the way.
Okay, then.
Okay, then let's get
Let's get started.
So, guys, that is it for this evening. Thank you for joining. Our videos are going to be shorter moving forward. I'm going to be doing a live once or twice a month, not every single week. And throughout the week, they're going to be shorter, more condensed videos for training purposes so that individuals that are going back into the course or starting after you guys are not having to sit for an hour. It's hard for them to sit for an hour because they're not willing, not yet. And so when you have smaller videos, people are more apt to listen to the shorter videos, even though they'll stay on for 3 hours. But it's a mental thing. And so we have to feed people where they are so that they can grow. All right. So We appreciate you guys. Raheem, I appreciate you for jumping on here.
How much am I getting paid for this? Guys, this is awesome. Come with questions, come with your input, because it really does matter. I always try to encourage people, we all have this fear of speaking up on the conference calls and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people understand and have that. What are you showing me? Oh, thank you. Who's that?
That's
Mr.
William.
Mr. Montgomery, thank you. He said that we're great together and do this more often. I'm glad that it was a treat to you, man. And so just we create the environment, that we want. And I'm saying we, including everybody, all of you guys. So your input really does matter. This is life-changing, Deborah Marcus says. I'm glad that we were able to help you. How did it change you? How has it changed your life, Deborah? Are you able to share a snippet before we log off? Thank you for the comment.
Yes, and remember it's a little bit of a lag.
Okay, so there's a little lag. We'll try to sit tight for you for a second.
Yeah. As we have the kids upstairs cleaning and doing dishes, I just love having children. And they're going to be leaving us. So you got to get back to cleaning.
We got one with a 17-year-old birthday tomorrow. Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
No,
on Saturday.
Saturday. 17. Last two, 17 and 14.
She's not
all right.
Me.
So maybe you could share that on the group on Facebook. Is she on Facebook?
I'm not sure if Deborah's on our in the Facebook group in one of the courses.
Okay.
If you guys are connected via the emails, if you've been receiving my emails, then you will receive that update once again about the Life Now University and all the additional courses that will be uploaded within the next couple of days. I will not send you an email every time one is uploaded. There's going to be several, because again, I'm breaking down I've already started, but the 92 courses into bite sizes so that you can obtain that a la carte. All right. So it's going to be nice. And
there she is. She says, being able to get your mind right when you go to the home. Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm glad you picked that up. Listen, if that's everything. So if you got that, you're on your way. That's everything. Mm-hmm. That's everything.
You always have to be thinking about what you're thinking. If at any point you feel sad or you feel upset or you don't feel happy or have joy, it started here. What are you thinking about?
As a man thinketh, so is he. One man says, I can't do it. The one man says, I can do it.
They're both right.
Both of them are right.
They're both right.
What's the difference? It's what they're thinking about. Yeah, that's everything. So I'm glad that slipped through the cracks.
Awesome job. Awesome job, guys. So we out.
Good night.
Love you guys. Blessings. Have your 6 things that you need to have to complete for tomorrow. Guys, remember, give yourself an hour a day to learn and to love on yourself. We're gone. Thank you, baby.
Hey.